Buenos días, estudiantes. Buenas tardes. Hoy, ¿qué día es hoy? Hoy es lunes. ¿Cuál es la fecha de hoy? Hoy es el 13 de abril. I hope you guys had a great Easter yesterday and that you are ready for another week of school. In a way, we are nearing the end. We're counting down the days. I think we have like 8 class periods left, I believe. So, yeah, keep the faith, keep going. I trust that you guys are doing well and that I've heard from some of you about a few details of things on occasion, but if there's anything that you need me to know, please let me know. Things that are difficult for you, things that you're not understanding, you can't find something, please reach out to me. So, we're in the middle of Lección 11, which has to do with la tecnología and also a lot with commands. We've been doing a lot with commands. We'll continue that today, add a little vocab, and a new kind of concept that we haven't really talked about before. It's called, this thing at the bottom, reciprocal verbs. I think you know what reciprocal means. It goes both ways. It's not just one directional, it comes back at you. So we'll talk about what that actually is a little bit later. So I'm going to start. If you guys have been in class, in the handout I would have provided you, there would have been some commands, an A and a B set of commands that I would have had you work on with your partner. No importa. I'm going to do that right now. So I would like you to, again, as usual, have your finger on the pause button. So I'm going to give you a command and I would like you to do it. Okay? Hazlo. Do the command. So I'm just going to pick and choose from the ones that I would have told you to do. And then I won't pause, but I want you to pause and go ahead and do that thing. And then, listen carefully, pay attention to what you're hearing the command form to be. They're all going to be affirmative commands. They're all to a do person. And so you're going to hear a lot of the he, she form, el, ella, usted form of the verb. You're also going to hear a few of the irregular ones that we've been talking about. So, okay, listos. El primero es levántate. Siéntate. Okay, levántate, siéntate, ¿sí? Cepíllate los dientes. Cepíllate los dientes, ¿sí? Escribe tu número de teléfono en un papel. Escribe tu número de teléfono en un papel. Aquí está mi número de teléfono. Escribe tu número de teléfono en un papel. Ok. Toca la computadora. Aquí es. Toca la computadora. Canta tu canción favorita. Okay. I'm not sure what your canción favorita is, but yeah, to sing it. All right, then. Dime el nombre de tu hermano o hermana. Dime. Mis hermanas son Lori y Jenna. Tengo 2 hermanas. Okay, so dime, tell me, dime. Pon tu pluma en tu computadora. Pon tu pluma en tu computadora. Tu pluma en la computadora. Pon tu pluma en la computadora. Uno más. Dibuja una casa en un papel. Dibuja una casa en un papel. Dibuja una casa en un papel. Y esta es mi casa. Okay. Okay, so again, as you heard those, be listening, be prepared to keep forming commands in the affirmative to command form by making them in the he, she form. Okay, if we would have finished again, we would have made those into negative commands because we're also talking about negative ones. We'll do some more with negative commands a little bit later. The verse that I want to start with here actually has an affirmative and 2 negative commands also. In scriptures, and I'm sure you guys have heard this, especially lately, I've been hearing a lot of Christian speakers, and when I listen to a lot of podcasts, they talk about a lot of verses that come from scripture that are commanding us, not just suggesting, but they are commanding that we, as is in Joshua, as in Joshua here, no tengas miedo. Do not have fear. Do not be afraid. Fear not. Do not be afraid. Do not worry. No te preocupes. Pardon. a lot of commands that we are given throughout Scripture to not have fear. And so I'm going to read this beginning verse from the first chapter of Joshua, Josue. If you remember what was going on in Joshua's life right away at the beginning of that book, he was asked to go into battle with very few resources, with very few soldiers. He was not given, he did not have the capability from a human standpoint to be victorious in this battle that he was being called to go into. Yet, God is calling him to be faithful and do that. And so we get to verse 9 in the first chapter. God says to him, Ya te lo he ordenado. I have already commanded you. I have ordered you, ordenado. And then he gives an affirmative command. It's one of our irregular ones from the verb ser, right? Se fuerte y valiente. Be strong and courageous. Be strong, fuerte, y valiente, and valiant, courageous. And then 2 negative commands. No tengas miedo, ni te desanimes. Do not have fear, nor be discouraged. No te desanimes. Animar is to encourage, desanimar is to discourage, nor be discouraged. And then I always think it's interesting in Scripture. I just talked about how it's many times we're commanded to do that, to be strong, not be afraid. And that just seems like not really a command that God can ask us as humans to do, because we are going to be afraid. Because that's in a way how he has created us to respond to things that are hard and that are challenging, to have fear. But what I always think is interesting, that in many passages of Scripture, when we are told not to fear and not to be afraid, that it is followed with another verse, a part of a verse that we tend to not follow through and read. Why? How is it that we cannot have fear and be discouraged and not be discouraged? And then he finishes it. Porque el Señor tu Dios te acompañará donde quiera que vayas. Because the Lord, your God, will accompany you, will be with you, will go with you, donde quiera, wherever that you may go. Wherever that you may go, whatever he calls you to. It may be hard, it may be challenging, it may be unpleasant, it may be scary. But he's calling us to that place and not saying, hey, just don't be afraid in it. He's saying, don't be afraid because I'm going to be with you. I am the God who's going to be with you. We've also talked a little bit about Scripture being, that's a cute little kid I thought I would start with as well. One of the negative commands, no me digas, don't tell me. En serio? Seriously? Like, really? What you just said is true? That no me digas, it's a pretty common way to respond to somebody that tells you something that you don't believe to be true. Like, no way. What you're saying can't be true. No me digas. Don't tell me that. But the other thing that I wanted to start off with is I'm going to provide this song to you I think it's going to be in the announcements. I think I'll give you that song. And it's another prayer in the form of a song. And I'll provide the lyrics as well. There's a lot of body parts in here. Notice that ojos are in there. Dame tus ojos. Dame, not dime. Dime, I gave you that command a little while ago. Tell me, dime. Dame, dame tus ojos. Give me your eyes. We are often asking God to do all kinds of things for us in our prayers to Him. But this is again a prayer that I think God is clearly going to want to honor and answer and provide what we're asking Him, because we're asking Him to give us part of Himself so that we can then go out. The first line is Dame tus ojos, quiero ver. I want to see. God, I want to see the world like you see it, which will probably mean that I will see the pain, I will see the suffering, I will see the difficulty in it. The next line says, Dame tus palabras, give me your words, quiero hablar, I want to speak. Why would I ask God for His words unless I am willing to go out and then speak those words of truth and love to those and forgiveness to those who need to hear it? So I'd like you to pause this video right now and go back to the song, and I will also post the lyrics, and I'd like you to listen to the song before you continue. Do that right now. Okay. Let's keep going. I would like you to take out your tarea escrita that you did for today that has the negative command forms that are the opposite of the affirmative ones I had you do the other day, like turn on the stereo, turn it on, turn off the calculators, don't turn them off. So I asked you to do the negative counterparts to those. So I'm going to go to the next slide. And there's the first 10. So I'm going to have you guys pause it here in a second, compare what you have to what you see on the screen. Notice the forms of the verbs. Look at all of these S's that's at the end of all of those. Every negative to command, you know, is going to end in either AS or ES, right? It's the opposite of what you would have expected it to be. Also, notice where those pronouns are. No lo pongas, no las apagues. No la tomes, no me llames. So those pronouns are going to go in front. The other thing is there's a few that are irregularly spelled, like apagues. See if you can get those spell changes in there. Pause it right now, take a look at that, and then I will go on to the next slide in just a second. Pause right here. Okay, next slide has the rest of those. And again, the same thing. Notice where the pronouns go, this time in front. No nos des, no nos los des. Also the irregular, not the irregular forms necessarily, but there's some. No vayas, no des, don't give, don't go. But there's also some that are look a little bit irregular, but it's just because they're based again on the yo form. Make sure you always start with the yo form to get those. So, salgo en número 14, por ejemplo. 16, vengo. Pongo en número 16 y 17. Hago, traigo en 19 y 20. Also, again, some of the irregular ones like 18, no seas mi novia. Pause right here, and then we'll continue after you've checked yours. Okay, with the minute that we have left, I would like you to take out your vocab, and I would like us to finish the computadora vocab that you see bottom middle box there that has more vocab words that have to do with computer usage and that kind of thing. So starts with the word el ratón, which by the way is the same word as the animal. La red, el reproductor de DVD. And then go through the rest of those. If you would pronounce each one of those, watch pronunciations, do your best with the possible pronunciations, and then in a second I will go on to the next video and I will ask you guys to do a few things command-wise with some of those new vocab words. So I'm going to finish this video right now. You take a second to go over those new words. Pronounce them aloud to yourself before we continue.